Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Learn Python with Saroj. Today we are going to discuss about the different types of function in Python programming. At first, if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe the channel. Function. What is a function? At first, a function is a block of organized code that performs a single and related action. As you already know, Python generally gives us many types of function, many built-in functions like print functions, which you have used in every beginning concepts. Yeah, but we can create our own functions in Pythons. Those functions which we can create and use as per our requirements in Python programming are the user-defined functions. For these functions, we just defined our functions from the user and then we execute them. At first, we are going to learn different types of functions in Python programming. Let us see. Yeah, as you can see over here, there are different types of functions: user-defined functions, built-in functions, lambda functions, and recursion functions. Today, in this video tutorial, we are going to discuss about each of the different types of functions in Python in detail. Let us start with the user-defined function. We generally use a user-defined function in Python programming in order to make our code more convenient. Make our code more convenient to use. Yeah. Let us show you the syntax of user-defined function. Yeah, how to define a user-defined function. At first, we are using a def, that is as defined as a keyword. For that, we are using def as a keyword, as you can see in the screen, and then we use a functional name, that is the identity of a function, and then a functional parameter in which we put the argument that are passed by value for a function. The argument must be passed by value, and then after for executing our functional block, we are just using this semicolon over there. Semicolon is used in order to execute our functional block. Yeah, this is how we define the different types of user-defined functions in Python programming. At first, the functional blocks begin with the keyword def, followed by the functional name and the parenthesis. Any input argument should be placed within the parenthesis. The first statement of a function can be an optional statement, and the code blocked within a functional parameter, that is a semicolon parameter, as you all can see in the screen. Let us run our sample functional. Yeah, let us print some string in our function. I am just loading my IDE over here. I am loading my IDE. Yeah, PyCharm. Just loading my IDE. Yeah, my IDE is in background. Now in this here we are just going to define a function. Let us define a function. At first, we are just using a def keyword. Def keyword is used, followed by the function name. Our function name is print our string. Print string. Print string. This is our function name, and then the string string, and then we use a parenthesis, functional name, and then we use a parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis we use a parameter. This is our string, so we are just using string as our parameter and then using a semicolon, and now it is our definition block. Let us write some string over here. Yeah, let us write our string print I am string inside the function. I am string inside the function. Yeah, we are just now printing our string, that is I am string inside a function, and then we are just returning our value, returning their value, and then after we are just calling our function print function, so that we can int our function type. Yeah, that is print string function. Yeah, st print string and then string function. Yeah, now we are running our code. You can see what happened. Our code is just running. Yeah, I am string function and I am inside the function. We get a result that is inside the string function. At first we just declared a function by using its syntax, and then after we just print out string and then returned its value. At last we must close our function. This is a closing of our function. Yeah, in this way we can close our function. Now calling a function. Defining a function only gives it a name, yeah, which it specifies for it. Then the function which is given the name must be included in the function and the structure with a block of code. So we generally use a call. We used calling function. At first we define the function, then we call the function. For this, let us define some function. Define our function. Yeah, python me function name is python me, and it is of a string argument. Yeah, and then we are just printing a value of string. Yeah, printing the value of string, and we just print the value of string, print the value of string, and then return our value. We just returned our value. Now we can call the, now outside it we are calling the function, calling a function by just writing a function name print me. Here we have a function that is python me. Python me is our function, and we can write an argument over here. I am first call in the function. I am the first call in this function. This is our string. I am the first call in this function. Here we called our python me function, which we just defined it over here, and then we called it over here. Now if we run our program, then after the functional call linked with the defined function, and we got our desired result. You can see. Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I am a first called in function, and we just got our desired result. Yeah. Now we are discussing about the different types of function with the arguments. The function also hold some arguments value over there. That is a user-defined function. Let us discuss about the user-defined function with arguments. Let us start. User-defined function with arguments. User-defined function with arguments. We are just discussing about the user-defined function with the argument. Now let us see. Let us define our some function. Define our function which is named as my function. Our function name is my function, and in this function we use an argument that is a user name and greeting, that we will later on pass it as an argument, and we are printing hello the name of a user, and I wish you a good morning. Yeah, now for this we are writing a code. So we are just writing username and then greeting for the user. Yeah, and then we are using semicolon. This is our function. Now we are just printing the value that is hello comma percentage s comma from function, hello from the function, and then hello, the name of a person, from the function I wish you comma I wish you and then percentage s. Yeah, and we are just assessing these values by writing comma and then percenting and then just giving a value comma percenting username user comma and then greeting. Yeah, user, and we are just assessing user and greeting. For this we just use this comma, we are not using comma over here. Yeah, just at first the percentage s is holding a user value, so we use percentage user, and then percentage s is using a greeting value, so we use percentage greeting. So in this way we can define it. And then our function ends. Now we have to call our function. There our function is my function. I just called a function and I am writing over here the name, that is Saroj, as a name, and then printing some greetings. Our greeting is as we say good morning. Here we pass the two arguments by calling a function. This is a function call. This is a function call, and here this is a function definition. This is a function definition. This is a function definition, and we just called our arguments by values. Arguments, they are just called as an argument by values. Yeah, we are just running our program. Let us see what gives us a result. Yeah, hello, the username Saroj, from function I used you a good morning. In this way we can use arguments inside the functions. Yeah, let us just calculate the sum of a two different number by defining the function. Yeah, here this is how we define a function. A function definition is an executable statement. It executes the blind function name as a current local namespaces. In here you can also see the detail about the functions in Python. I'm just closing it. Yeah, for this let us define something. Let us define, and we are just calculating the sum of two value a comma b. Sum of two value, we are printing the sum of two values, so we are returning the value of a added to b. We just return the sum of a and b. Yeah, and then we just use we are calling our function sum and just printing the sum of 3 and 4. Let us calculate the sum of 3 and 4, and then we have just printed it. Now we are running our code. 4 plus 3, it must gives us here we just use a sum, which is our function, and then we have to call our function. For that name 3 comma 4. This is a functional call, and then we are printing our sum over here. Let me run it. what happened, returning the value of a can be is returned. It is holding some functional value, so it must return sum as a form of an argument. Print 3 comma 4. What happened? Yeah, we got a result that is 7 as our result. There is a functional call, we need not to include it over here. For this we are just 3 and 4. Sum, calculating the sum of a and b. Then what happened? It is outside a function, error will be generated, so we must give us value over here also, 3 and 4. Yeah, in this way we can add a two function by using the by defining the functions, by defining function. Yeah, in a functions there are generally two different types of function. Here we just passed a number by values, that is a pass by value in a function, whereas there are some arguments where we can just pass our functions by argument. When argument is being passed by reference and the reference is being overwritten inside the calling function. If you just passed a function by argument and then the return argument is just overwritten. Let us see example. At first we are defining print function. We are defining print function for a string, and then we are just printing our string. We are just printing our string and returning our value, and then we are just calling our function print function and just running the code. Then nothing but overwritten value will be included. Here what it says, yeah, input line 1 in module line 1, print our string, and then print string. We just print my string. Yeah, print underscore my. In this, if we just did it, then it will be overwritten and our argument must be missing. The missing one required positional argument. Yeah, our positional argument, that is string, is now missing over here. So we got a error over there. Yeah, this is a string of a class str class string. Yeah, str string of our class. This is about the passed by reference. If we just use a passed by reference and passed by values, they both are the concepts that we use in our functions. Later on, we will discuss about pass by reference and pass by value in a next tutorial in a detail, because they will come over our next topic. Now we are done with the user defined function in Python. Here we just learned how to define a user function, how to just call a user defined function, and then how to pass an argument by value in user defined function, how to calculate the sum using user defined function, and then how to show greeting using the user defined function. Now we are moving towards our next function. As we have seen earlier, our next function is a built-in function. Let us discuss about the built-in function in Python programming. Built-in functions are those types of functions which the program already have fixed them and we are using them, like print function. As you use a print function in a Python programming in order to show our result. It is a built-in function which is already built within. We don't need to define print function. Yeah, because we are just using it rapidly and we just get our result. They are the built-in functions. Similar to the print functions, there are also other built-in functions in Python programming. Yeah, Python programming like range functions and other many more. They are just about the built-in functions, so we don't discuss about them much more. Now we are going towards a new function, that is a recursion function in Python programming. Now we are going to learn about the recursion function in Python programming. Recursion function in Python programming. For this, let us start. Recursion in Python. Recursion is a certain function which we uh, we use if you want to define something in terms of itself. If something you want to define in terms of yourself, then we use a recursion function. A physical word example would be to place two parallel mirrors facing each other. Let us place two parallel mirrors facing each other. Any object between them will be reflected recursively. Here image will be reflected over here and their image will be reflected over here. So this is just about the reflection. Just like a reflection, it is a recursion concept. Let us just know about the recursion function in Python. Yeah. For getting a concept about the recursion function in Python, you can see one example in our screen. At first, we have just declared our function, which is function get factorial of n. Yeah, and if the value of n is less than 2, then we just return the value to 1. And then else we are returning the value to recursion factorial, that is n minus 1. In this way, we can calculate the factorial of a number. Let us run our IDE in order to calculate the factorial of a number. I am in my IDE, you can see. Yeah. Now I am just defining a function. Defining facto factorial function with the argument x passed over it. And if we are just getting if the value of x is equals to 1, then we are just returning our value, that is 1, returning our value to 1. Yeah, if our value is 1, then we just return our value to 1. Otherwise else we just return our function, that is multiplication of x and the factorial x minus 1, because in permutation we just have a formula x into x minus 1. Yeah, here we are just calculating the factorial. Factorial is under the permutation. X factorials is equals to x minus 1 is our appropriate formula, so we are using it over here. And we have to define. Let us define any value that let us get a input from user and assign a value a. Yeah, we are getting an input from user, so integer type input from user. Enter the value. Enter the value. Enter the value. We are getting the value from user over here. It must be of integer types, and then we are just calling and printing our value as printing the function print the factorial of the factorial of, there is our number, that is a, the factorial of a, the factorial of a, yeah, is the factorial of a is, it is our string, so using this, the factorial of a is, the factorial of a is, and then the factorial of a value of a that we get from the user. The factorial of a is, and then comma, factorial a. Now we are running our program. Let us calculate a value. Let us take a value of factorial of 3, that is n into n minus 1. 3 into 3 minus 1 will give 2, that is our result will be 6. Let us take a value of 3. Sorry, dot factorial. Oh sorry, I just used this dot, it is unnecessary. We are just using comma over here. Yeah, the value factorial of 3. Yeah, the factorial of a 3 is 6, that is 3 into 3 minus 2, that is 2, that is 1. Let us calculate a factorial of any greater digits. Let us calculate a factorial of 999. Yeah, I am just entering this value 999. Sorry, x into x minus 1 user global local function. Yeah, it function last call. Yeah, at first we must enter the value of a function. Let us enter. Yeah, let us insert the value of a function as 8, and then the factorial of 8 is calculated over here, and that is 40,320. In this way we can use a recursion function. Here the recursion function is just used in order to recall the value. Here we just created a factorial function and assigned it value to a. The value of a is not linked with a factorial over here, but we just linked it by writing this factorial a. Here we just reoccur our function. Our factorial function is reoccurred, so this is a recursion function by which is linked with a after reoccurring. Yeah, this is about the recursion function in Python programming. Now we are done with the recursion function, and we are going to learn about the lambda function. Lambda function in Python programming. We are just going to show what the lambda function does. Yeah, let us create some list. As you can see in a screen, the list of a number, that is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 is created over there. And then we are just filtering the list of a number, that whether it is even number or not. If the x modulus 2 is equals to 0, that means 2 divided by 2. Modulus will use as a 2 divided by 2, that is 2 ones 2 1 then 2. Yeah, so we must get a remainder as a 0. Modulus is used in order for a remainder. If the remainder of the x divided by 2 is 0, then we just print it the list number for, and then we are just using it for all the number in a list. So we use a for loop. For number in the list number, print number in is equals to 80. Here we just use a lambda function in order to check whether the value is either even or not. So if you run this program, we will just get a even value as our result. Let us show you the result of the program. We will get a even value only as our result. Here you can see 2 4 and 6 is a result. So in this program we just can get a even value. You can run this program in your code in your Python and then compute with the value. So now we have discussed about the different types of Python functions. At first we discussed user-defined function, which we use by defining from user. Built-in functions, they are built-in in programming. Lambda functions, we can assess their values by using the mathematical expression as we just did earlier. And then recursion function, which we used in order to recall the value after the function is being called by linking the two values. Here we show the example of factorial, calculating the factorial using the recursion function. This is about the functions in Python programming. Yeah, I think you all got a concept about functions in Python programming. If you have any doubt over here, you can just leave a comment in our video so that I can help you further. If you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe our channel, like our video, keep watching us. Thank you.